Good evening and welcome to this 9 p.m. edition. Coming up, the headlines. The Parliament held a second public sitting of its first ordinary session. And on the international scene, Israeli drone attack kills one person in south of the country. Those were the headlines. Thanks for joining us in our newsroom. Djibouti National Assembly held on Monday, 28 April 2025, the second plenary of the first ordinary parliamentary session for the year 2025. The session was chaired by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Mr. Dileita Mohamed Dileita, and attended by the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohamed, member of the government, and all members of the Parliament. At the opening of the session, Dileita Mohamed Dileita invited the reporters of the Standing Committee to present their reports on the draft law previously discussed in the committee's proceeding. The Djibouti Social Development Agency presented draft law on the financial account for the fiscal year 2023. The Higher Institute of Health Science presented draft law on the financial account for the year 2023. The National Institute of Public Administration presented draft law on financial account for the fiscal year 2023. The Djibouti Post Office presented draft law on financial account for fiscal year 2022. Djibouti Guarantee Fund presented draft law on financial account for the fiscal year 2023. And the People's Palace presented draft law on financial account for the fiscal year 2023. The Urban Rehabilitation and Social Housing Agency present a draft law on financial account of the year 2023. The session also approved a draft law setting out the guideline for the national volunteer policy and establishing a national body for Djibouti volunteers. At the end of the session, the President of the National Assembly, Dileita Mohamed Dileita, thanked the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohamed and member of the government. The President of the National Assembly noted that the significant progress made in processing and examining the financial account for previous year is the result of enhanced consultation effort aimed at establishing a culture of accountability, enhancing transparency within the sector, and ensuring strict oversight for the use of public resources. The following constructive discussion parliamentarians asked questions to several ministers regarding several key issues, including the accounting transparency, financial efficiency, structural challenges, and prospects for improving the public administration. The ministers provide concise and detailed answer highlighting the ongoing efforts of public institutions to achieve their goals amidst a challenging economic context. In their respective responses, the ministries concerned have reviewed the financial institution of several public institutions, namely the Minister of Higher Education and Researches, Dr. Nabil Ahmed, and highlighting the sustained effort made by the government to improve their financial and accounting management. Among the institutions discussed, the National Social Security Fund was cited as an example for the soundness of its financial statement and the relevance of reform undertaken in terms of internal governance. At the end of the debates, all the bills on the agenda were adopted by a majority vote. The session also led to the adoption of the bill setting out the guidelines for the national volunteer policy and establishing the Djiboutian National Volunteer Corps. Through the constructive discussion, the parliamentarians asked questions to the member of the executive branch on several major issues, namely accounting, transparency, financial, and also the prospect for optimizing public management. The minister concerned present and provide precise and detailed response in order to highlight the sustained effort and undertaken by the public institution to achieve their objective in a demanding economic context. In his address, the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed reviewed the financial situation of the several public institutions and the government's ongoing effort to improve their financial and accounting management. The Prime Minister said among the institutions mentioned, the National Social Security Fund was cited as an example of the strength of its financial statement and the importance of the reform that has undertaken in the areas of internal governance. At the end of the discussion, the Prime Minister said that all draft laws on the agenda were approved by a majority. Strengthening bilateral relations between Djibouti and the International Monetary Fund, a high-level Djibouti delegation led by the Minister of Economic and Finance in charge of Industry, Mr. Ilyas Moussa Dewali, and the Governor of Central Bank of Djibouti, Mr. Ahmed Ousmane, met with the Director of Middle East and Central Asia Department at the International Monetary Fund. This meeting, which is part of the ongoing effort to strengthen bilateral relations between Djibouti and the IMF, provide an opportunity to discuss important issues related to the country's economic development. During this meeting, discussion highlighted regional stabilization and the macroeconomic situation in Djibouti. The two sides agreed to strengthen their strategic partnership, focusing on cooperation in financing capacity development and the exchange of the best practices. The IMF affirmed its commitment to work with Djibouti in order to improve its macroeconomic position and support its efforts to achieve sustainable development. In a call on Sunday, the Foreign Minister Abdul Qadir Hussein Umar extended his warm congratulations to his new Somali counterpart Abdusalam Abdi Ali on his appointment to this position. During this call, the two ministers affirmed their shared commitment to deepening the centuries-old relation between Djibouti and Somalia, two brotherly countries bound by history, culture, and regional solidarity. In a context marked by shared challenges but also significant opportunities, Abdul Qadir Hussein Umar and Abdusalam Abdi Ali expressed their determination to give a new impetus to their bilateral cooperation, particularly in the political, security, and economic files. At the invitation of the head of Chinese companies involved in extracting salt derivative from Lac Sal, the Minister of Energy in charge of natural resources, Mr. Yunis Ali Gedi, began a multi-day working visit to China yesterday. On the first day of his visit, the working mission to China, Mr. Yunis Ali Gedi, the Minister of Natural Energy and Natural Resources, met in Weifang with the chairman of the board of directors from the Chinese chemical group company. The meeting was held at the group's headquarters and was attended by the senior executive from the group, the general manager of the International Business of China Urban Rural Holding Group. The main objective of the discussion between the two parties was the ways and means to enhance the derivative and Lac Sal salt, including the caustic soda and chlorine, which are used to the manufacture of numerous chemical products. Now, the court auditors organized a regional workshop with the African sculpture by Ms. Ismahan Mahmoud Ibrahim. The workshop organized in cooperation with the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development and the initiative highlighted crucial issues: the independence of Supreme Audit Institution. The primary objective of this workshop is to analyze the informal factors that hinder the independence of Supreme Audit Institution. Although this declaration has been adopted in internationally and set standard for the independence of Supreme Audit Institution. The challenges facing the independence of Supreme Audit Institution are not limited to design of the legal framework. It is also linked to informal factors such as functional and financial, but also organizational aspect, and also the psychological and social dimensions such as organizational, cultural, and Supreme Audit Institution. In her speech, Ms. Ismahan Mahmoud Ibrahim, the Court of Account, explained in her intervention, that it is crucial to ensure the true independence of Supreme Audit Institution in their daily operation. She said that this workshop specially aimed to bridge the gap between legal texts and reality. This project, jointly led by the INTOCA Development Institution and the OECD, which is part of a global institution and initiative aimed at strengthening the independence of a Supreme Audit Institution, she concluded. The Ministry of Labor, in charge of Social Security and Protection, in partnership with the International Labour Organization, organized a workshop this morning on promoting the occupational safety and health, but also reviewing the list of occupational challenges. The workshop was held from April 22 to 30, 2025 at Campasky Palace Hotel. This workshop was attended by the Secretary General of the Ministry of Labor, Abdullah Ali, and Technical Advisor of the Ministry of Labor, but also the Director of Labor Administration. This event brings together experts and head of institutions as well as representatives from private and international sector. This workshop aimed to raise awareness of the importance of occupational safety and health in professional environment while adapting the raising list of occupational disease to reflect challenges in practice and technologies in the world is work. In his remark, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Labor, Mr. Abdullah Ali, explained that this workshop focused on implementing public and private policies aimed at promoting safe and healthy working environments. The cooperation between the Ministry of Labor and the International Labour Organization in organizing this event represent a strong commitment to provide better social protection for the workers and establishing formal mechanisms that adapt to the current challenges, he said. The National Human Rights Committee, in partnership with the European Union, launched a project to support civil society at the Campasky Palace Hotel. The project, founded by the European Union, aimed to strengthen the practice, governance, and promote human rights at the national level. The primary objective of this ambitious project is to enhance the capacity of the National Human Rights Committee to fully carry out its mandate in promoting but also protecting and defending the human rights. Through this initiative, we call on civil society to play an increasingly active and organized role in the country's democratic process and social development. The ceremony was attended by several high-level figures. The committee is co-chaired by the President of the National Human Rights Commission, Mr. Ali Subani, and the European Union Ambassador to Djibouti, but also the Intergovernmental Authorities on Development. The workshop aimed to strengthen the capacity of 150 members of civil society organizations and train hundreds of security forces officials as well as 50 trainee judges and lawyers to the National School of Judicial Studies and 50 teacher trainers from the Basic Education Teacher Training Center. In his remarks, Mr. Ali Subani, President of the National Human Rights Commission, explained that the project pays particular attention to vulnerable groups such as people living in rural and isolated areas, persons with the special need, women, children, youth, migrants, but also refugees, by strengthening their inclusion in human rights protection mechanism. The project contribute to the reduction of inequality and promoting a more just, equitable society. The 2024 annual report of the United Nations country team in Djibouti was presented this morning at Kampaski Hotel. The event was chaired by the Director of Multilateral Relations at the Djibouti Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Gili Idris Umar, and UN resident representative in Djibouti. The event brought together government officials, members of the diplomatic corps, and development partners to assess the achievement of the UN country team in Djibouti during 2024, as well as the project and initiative implemented in the country to support the Sustainable Development Goals in order to meet the need of the Djiboutian population. The annual report provides a detailed overview of the action taken in various sectors, including health, education, water and sanitation, as well as effort to strengthen resilience to climate change. It also highlighted a fruitful collaboration between the government of Djibouti and the UN agencies to improve living conditions and promote sustainable development. In his remarks, Mr. Jose, a UN resident representative in Djibouti, said that 2024 annual report demonstrates our continued commitment to supporting Djibouti in its effort to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. The result achieved over the past year demonstrate the importance of collaboration among various stakeholders, and we are committed to strengthen this collaboration through 2025 and beyond. For his part, the Director of Multilateral Relations at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Gili Idris, noted that this report is a valuable tool for assessing our progress, defining our future and priorities, and continuing to work together for the well-being of our people. The partnership between Djibouti and the United Nations is essential to achieving a sustainable development in our country, he added. The United Nations team in Djibouti comprises several UN agencies, fund and also program working together to support Djibouti's development priorities, he concluded. The Directive of Maritime Affairs informed all the users of the ferry Mohammed Ali Gadile will not sail on Thursday, May 1 due to the holiday. Nevertheless, the Directorate of Maritime Affairs is organizing a special service on Wednesday proprietary with two trips in Tajura to better serve its customer. The Maritime Affairs Department requests not to wait until the last moment to purchase your ticket. And now, as part of the ongoing price of inventory monitoring operation, inspector from the Ministry of Trade and Tourism collected price inventory in Tajura region. This project is funded by the World Bank as part of the emergency response to the food crisis. The objective of this exercise is to improve inventory management or verify approved pricing practice. The inspector met with the manager of storage and distribution facilities in the region. They examined stock of essential commodities, including rice, but also oil, sugar, and other products. The inspectors found that the stock were sufficient to cover the need of the region's population. However, they observed some violation, including exceeding approved prices in Tajora region. And now moving on to the regional scene, some plastic, the first factory to produce plastic materials for various services in the Federal Republic of Somalia recently witnessed the opening of some plastic factory, becoming the first facility specializing in the production of plastic materials for everyday use since the collapse of the state. Although there are some small factories producing various materials within the country. Some Plastic is now the largest factory operating in the plastic industries, specializing in the production of households and other daily necessities. The industry is a fundamental pillars in the economic recovery of developing countries like Somalia, and the establishment of some plastic factory has contributed to the creation of numerous job opportunities for Somali youth, with hundreds of employees were employed there. In an statement to the television of Djibouti, Mr. Abubakar Hussein Noor, general manager of some plastic factory, explained how they succeed in the establishing of these industrial facilities, reviewing the workflow and future development plans. And now for the international scene, Israeli warplane also launched an airstrike in Beirut's southern in the latest violation on the ceasefire agreement. For more details in this report.
Airplanes conducted yesterday an airstrike in the southern suburb of Beirut, specifically targeting the Haddad area. The Israeli military claimed the strike aimed at Hezbollah missile storage facility, asserting that such sites violate the terms of a ceasefire agreement established in November 2024. The Lebanese government condemned the attack, calling for international intervention to uphold Lebanese sovereignty. The strike marked the third such incident since the ceasefire began, highlighting ongoing tensions and the fragile nature of the agreement. Despite the ceasefire's provision,
in our sports news, London Marathon Tigis Asifa set a new record. Details in this report.
marathoner Tigis Assefa has set a new women's only marathon world record at the 2025 TCS London Marathon, completing the race in 2 hours 15 minutes and 50 seconds. This performance surpasses the previous record of 2 hours 17 minutes 1 second set by Brigitte Kosgei in 2019. Asefa's victory in London adds to her impressive marathon achievement, including her world record-breaking run of 2 hours 11 minutes 53 seconds at the 2023 Berlin Marathon. Her remarkable progression in marathon running continues to captivate the athletic world. The 2025 London Marathon also set a new world record for the number of finishers, with over 56,000 participants completing the race. Approximately 800,000 spectators lined the road, contributing to a festive atmosphere.
This is it for this edition. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening.